Revelator Aggregator. Want to talk about the Olivet Discourse. It's what's known as the Little Apocalypse. It's where Jesus himself prophesied shortly before the events leading up to his crucifixion. And his crucifixion, he prophesied to his apostles regarding the events of the end times. It occurs in 3 of the 4 Gospels. It occurs in Matthew, Mark, and Luke. And I think it's real important. I'm laying all this groundwork because when I get into my Revelation videos, hot and heavy, and I don't know how long that's going to take. I don't have it mapped out. I do these videos when I feel compelled to do them about subjects that I feel compelled to do them on. So I don't know how many videos I'm going to make on the book of Revelation or Daniel or any of that, but I feel like it's important to lay the groundwork with these other videos like I did on 1st and 2nd Thessalonians, and now that I'm doing on the Olivet Discourse. So this is important stuff, and I'm going to get to Revelation and Daniel, but I want to lay this other groundwork first, so bear with me. Since Mark is supposedly the oldest of the 4 Gospels in the Bible, I'm going to be utilizing the version of the Olivet Discourse found in the Gospel of Mark. Now the one in Matthew I think is longer. I may draw some from that if I feel like it's necessary or feel compelled to do so, but generally I'll be utilizing Mark. Also, I've thought about it, and this probably gonna be a set of videos I do on the Olivet Discourse, but I'll make it worth your while. It'll be interesting. And the first one I want to do, I'm not starting at the beginning, is we'll probably focus on when Jesus talks about cutting short the days. I'm reading from Mark chapter 13, beginning at verse 19. For in those days there will be suffering, such as not been from the beginning of creation, that God created until now, no, and never will be. And if the Lord had not cut short those days, no one would be saved. But for the sake of the elect, whom he chose, he has cut short those days. I think a lot of people interpret this to mean God cutting short or ending quickly the wicked, fallen civilization on the earth. And I've got a slightly different take on it. I'm of the opinion that it means the days themselves are going to get shorter, that time's going to move more quickly. And I'm not trying to say we're at the end now. Like I said before, I'm of the opinion that if we'd all just turn back to God and the world would turn back to God, we could avoid divine judgment conceivably for another 1,000 years or more. Doesn't look like that's the direction the world's headed in, but time definitely seems to be speeding up. Lots of people are saying it. Professors are saying I can't cover the same amount of material that I used to could cover in an hour, etc. There's lots of different theories on the internets as to why this phenomenon is occurring. One of the most interesting is the idea, and we've been over this before too, it's kind of out there in the zeitgeist right now, is the idea that we're headed for a pole shift. And what that would mean, as I understand it, is you approach a pole shift, the earth starts rotating more slowly till eventually it stops altogether and then turns and starts rotating the other way. And I know flat earthers, that's assuming the world is a globe, and I believe it is. Now, according to Einstein, and I know a lot of people in the quote unquote truth community are going to scream and jump up and down that Einstein was a Khazarian plant and disinfo agent designed to prove the Ashkenazi superbrain. And I get all that. However, per Einstein, the closer one gets to the speed of light, if there is such a thing, we'll go with the assumption there is, the closer one gets to, I mean, I'm assuming there is, because light has to move at a certain speed, unless, of course, you contend we're in a simulation and it's all simulated, but I would contend even in a simulation, light moves at a certain speed. Whatever, I'm rambling. Anyway, the closer one gets to the speed of light, the slower time goes. The faster we move, the slower time moves. But so wouldn't the contrary be true? Wouldn't the opposite be true? Wouldn't it mean that the slower we go, the slower we move, the faster time moves? So if the earth is slowing down, wouldn't that mean that time would speed up and the days would get shorter? Wouldn't that be another way to say the days were being cut short? I mean, it's just food for thought. I'm throwing that out there. Because like I said, I'm not trying to hasten the end because like I said, I don't believe in a pre-tribulation rapture. And I'd just as soon not live through and not have my family live through the tribulation. So it'd be just fine with me if we weren't living in the end of days. But it is mighty interesting that that's the exact choice of words that Jesus chose to use. May Father God bless you all. Jesus Christ saves, and stay positive.